Okay, guys. Been wanting to do this for a little bit. I've been thinking about this. And I wanted to go over the problem I see with a lot of the bug out bags on YouTube. Of course, YouTube, it's a great place to learn and get ideas. But some things, I think somebody comes up with an idea and other people kind of just follow that idea, and it becomes it's kind of the norm. Now, I'm gonna make a lot of people upset in this video, and I don't believe it's because I'm incorrect. I believe it's because I'm coming at it from a different angle, something that they're not used to, right? I'm different in some ways as far as prepping goes. If you watch my videos, you probably see I look at things differently. And the reason for that is I came into prepping basically on my own. I was pretty much set in my ways, a lot of self-taught ideas, stuff like that. And then, I didn't have a computer till I was, 25, about 24, 25. And then I get on YouTube and, I don't even bother looking up prepper. I ran into an accident and I'm like, oh, that's what a prepper is, huh? I guess I'm a prepper. But it's a lot of self-taught things. So, of course, if you come up with something on your own, you're going to have a different idea from something that somebody came up with that they were taught. So, and I learned a lot on YouTube as well. A lot of the things that I thought, okay, well, this is what I was thinking of doing, but this makes more sense, right? I mean, lots of people behind an idea. There's a lot of great ideas, but some I disagree with big time. And that's mainly what I want to talk about right now is bug out bags. Now, maybe you're new to this. So, it's a bug out bag, a 72-hour bag, a get out of Dodge bag, get home bag, emergency bag. It's got many names. But the idea is much like, just basically the same thing as FEMA or CDC. They say have 3 days worth of supplies in case of an emergency. That's basically what a bug out bag is. They say the same thing. I guess that's where it got started from, I would assume. And just medications, stuff you need to survive, food, water, clothing, stuff like that. Basically what you find in a bug out bag. The problem here is on YouTube, what I see people referring to bug out bags, I see more like get home bags, right? A get home bag, of course, if you live kind of far from your home or you work kind of far from your home, you want to get home. Let's say you live way on the other side of town, big city or something, right? It may take you a little while if things get kind of hectic. Or if you live in the city and you have another location out in the sticks somewhere, like on The Walking Dead. Let's say you have your own farm, you've got a well, you've got food stored up or something like that, right? You have a homestead to get to. Well, that makes sense for a lot of the bags I see on YouTube. But as far as a bugging out plan with the bags that I see, I don't see that working out very well. I made a video called the Ultimate $50 Budget Bug Out Bag for $50, and I got a backpack when you can get them free. I mean, it depends, but it had about 45, 46 different items. I forget exactly, but water purification, filtering, all kinds of items. I would feel more comfortable with my $50 budget bag than most other people's bags I see on YouTube. On these bug out bags, I see sunscreen, I see detergent, I see a lot of chem lights. I mean, chem lights only work one time, right? Space is valuable. I'd say shake and wind up flashlight, stuff like that. I hate batteries, and I hate anything with pretty much a one-time use, multiple purpose, and no batteries is the way I usually go. Of course, in the $50 bug out bag, I did use up batteries, but my point is, look at these videos, watch them, and you think about it. If you were really in the middle of nowhere, would you survive with that bag, right? I see mosquito net, like I said, dish soap, sunscreen, right? sunburns can be pretty painful. You can get a, I'm seeking to get a bad, like, day at the beach sunburn, but you may get a little sunburn. You'll survive, right? Liquids are heavy. I would dump all that stuff. To illustrate my point, I've watched a couple of videos on YouTube about mock bug outs. And it'll be a video, a guy or a couple guys go out to the woods and they set up camp, right? The problem with this is that it's unnecessary. If you drop me in the woods, say there's no wild animals or dangerous animals, I would be fine with nothing, not even a bottle of water. I'll make it 2 or 3 days before I die of thirst. So these mock bug out videos are really nothing, right? The guy starts a fire on foil, well then he's out of foil. What happens after that? I believe a mock bug out video, the camera should start rolling on day 3 when they run out of supplies. How they get water, how they find food, how they start a fire. And that goes to my point. You see, a 3-day bag is going to run out of supplies in, of course, 3 days. If you watched my video, shit hit the fan, after shit hit the fan, then if you watch the video, I'm talking about what happens after a disaster. Let's say Hurricane Katrina. I always use that. Hurricane Katrina. The hurricane comes in. The hurricane is the shit hit the fan. It destroys everything. Now, the real shit hit the fan starts on day 3, end of day 3, beginning of day 4. That's when you heard the gunfire. That's when there was the violence, when the food ran out. You see, with these 3-day bags, you're running out of supplies at the same time as everybody else. Unless you're getting somewhere, then you're SOL. Right? You're running out of supplies at the exact same time as everybody else, leaving you to come back to the city or your home in all that chaos. I've seen videos where people just talk about, if something happens, I'm going to grab my bag and run, which makes no sense to me. If you have a bug out bag, you're probably a prepper. Maybe, maybe not. But if you are a prepper, then you probably have weeks worth of food, months worth of food, or years worth of food. Does it make sense to grab a 3-day bag, 3 days worth of supplies and run? And there's guys on YouTube that are talking about doing that. It makes no sense. You're going to go out there, you're going to run out of supplies. What do you do after you run out of supplies? What do you do when the violence starts, when people start flooding into the woods looking for stuff to eat? Look at Venezuela. They're eating cats and dogs. Their pets are gone. The stray dogs and cats are almost non-existent. The violence is building up, man. Kidnaps, rapes, right? It's increasing. So that's the main problem with 72-hour bags, in my opinion. Unless you got a place to go, you don't want to go bug out, man. And a bug out bag should be more of a inch bag. I'm never coming home bag. That is what a bug out bag should be. The rest of them should be just get home bag, or maybe a grab and go bag. I don't know, whatever the hell. If something's passable, maybe, right? A storm or something like that, then it makes sense to go for a little bit. But if it's like an economic collapse like I'm seeing, then it wouldn't make sense. Again, watch these videos. Do you think you could survive with these bug out bags? Right? Some of the items, shampoo, conditioner, bug spray. I mean, I guess it depends on where, if the bugs have diseases or something. Stuff like that, sunscreen, right? You don't need that stuff, right? Fire starting kits, people weighing their bags down. Let's go over some of this stuff, right? They say you need, like 5 ways to start fire. I don't agree with that. A magnesium rod. I've done that. I've tried to shave magnesium in the wind. I'm like, okay, I'll go out there, it's cold, I got a jacket on or something, and I'll try to shave magnesium. And you know what happens when you're doing that? The wind blows it away. So if you really need a fire and there's wind, you can forget about that, right? Of course, it'd be kind of hard with other items too, like a lighter or something, but, I mean, it's a lot less energy you know, using a lighter than shaving a shitload of magnesium shavings, right? So, you know, people are going to throw that back at me. Hey, look, you shave magnesium for a while, and you tell me just striking a lighter is the same. No. Fire rods. Well, if you find the right material, right? Something kind of light, to say you got bird's nest or something like that, or some kind of cottony, or you know, really really fine dry grass. Yeah, fire rods will work, but it takes time. Matches, even if they're stormproof, one match is one fire. If you're lucky, if you know what you're doing, and then you're gonna run out of matches, right? Magnifying glass, I like that, but there's not always sun, right? And I definitely recommend a magnifying glass. The wife has one in her bug out bag. A bow drill, man, that's a pain in the ass. You watch these guys on Naked and Afraid, and those are at the beginning anyway. Now it's just, you know, real estate agent and homeless guy or something like that. But in the beginning, they were survival experts, they called them. I don't know if they really were, but that was the idea. And you see how long it takes them to get a fire going? And it's always on day 3, you know, the last day we actually need water. I wonder if that's rigged somehow. I know it was the baby food and the girl that ate the turtle and got sick, but maybe with fire too. They always find food like right before extraction too, so I've always wondered about that. What about, I've seen people with battery and steel wool. What happens when you run out of steel wool? That makes no sense. In an emergency, if you find it, yes, but taking battery and steel wool with you to start a fire? Well, that's good for one fire, and maintaining a fire is a real pain in the ass. I've seen people with too many knives. 8, 9 knives in a bag. And this one idiot who I blocked a while back, you know, was talking about eating people and this and that. He had a video, it was like, it was an Armageddon or Shit at the Fan suit, Marauder style or something like that. And, you know, this idiot has a costume, soft armor, which, you know, he has 9, 10, 11 blades, which a blade will go right through that soft armor, you know, in a Halloween costume. Yeah, see how far that gets him. I don't see water as a big one. Even in my $50 bug out bag, I had lots of ideas for water. I see a bug out bag with 2, maybe 3 bottles of water. Man, that's the most important thing, or you're dead. Water procurement, in my bug out bag, both of them, solar steel, Indian well, right? Dragging a ShamWow on the grass, collecting dew, and then putting it in a water filter. There were many ways to get water. I don't see that in other people's bags. I agree with the Sawyer water filter, and you know, I go with that. I have one myself. That's a good idea. But if you don't have a way to procure water, you're SOL. And bug out bags are too damn heavy. This one guy, you know, I think he said it was the same thing. I've watched 100 videos or something like that, and this is what I came up with, or this is the ultimate. But it was like a 40-pound bag or something like that. That's heavy as hell. My bug out bag, that was meant for one. Mine is a 27-pound bag, and it's meant for me, the wife, and the kid. Extended stay, right? It's heavy, but it's not just for me. And me and the wife could trade off if need be. But it's for 3 people and extended duration. That's what it should be, right? And these, I've seen guys, big older guys. I've got the 60-pound bag, and when shit hits the fan, I'm going to carry it this bag because I have to. The military does it, so I can do it too. Look, man, me, I can stand to lose 10, maybe 15 pounds now. You know, I've gotten kind of lazy with summer and the kid not in school, but I run with a weight vest. And after not doing that for a couple weeks, just 2 weeks, and I do it again, man, I feel like I'm going to die at the beginning. And that is coming from a guy who does that on a regular basis after not doing it for 2 or 3 weeks. How is a guy that is not in shape, right, not conditioned to do that, going to put on a 60-pound bag and run off God knows where? Because you better plan on running, right, doing it on your foot. Because vehicles break down, get caught in traffic, run out of fuel. You better plan to carry on your back if worse comes to worse, right? Because that's probably what it's going to come down to. But you can't expect to put 60 pounds worth of gear on your back and do it because you have to. You're talking about heat stroke. You're talking about heart attack, right? That's what you're talking about if you're not used to it. It is a pain in the ass, right? Like I say, but like in the video about bug out bags, you know, I said I train with a weight vest. I say put a backpack on with weight, go practice, and you know that'll really it'll wake you up. It'll give you a wake up call, big time, man, big time. But that's just my thoughts on the matter. I really think there's a lot of misdirection on YouTube. I see a lot of really, I guess, preppers with large followings. And it's mainly, you know, here's my bug out bag. Here's this expensive bag. Here's this, you know, top of the line flashlight. Here's this expensive knife. It's just basically showing off gear. I don't care about gear. I care about skills. I care about what you know, right? Being able to use it. It doesn't matter if you have a $200 flashlight, right? What good is that really going to do you? Is that really much better than a $2 flashlight, right? Now, what I go with is shake and wind up equipment, which I take over, you know, a $200 flashlight that needs batteries. Batteries corrode, things get wet, things break, you know. The batteries can damage the equipment. If you leave them in there, they lose their charge. I mean, there's so many problems. I think a lot of people were misguided in that because, again, the most important thing, a 72-hour bag, right? That means you're going to run out of supplies exactly when the rest of society is going to shit running out of supplies, right? That's something you need to think of. That's the very big one. Anyway, that's it for me. Check out the $50 budget bug out bag I did. It's a long video, but I think it's worth it. And then you check out my actual bug out bag. I've redone it. I'm going to put a video up on it soon, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Survival. What I see sometimes on YouTube is camping or, you know, hardship or just not inconvenience, really. Right? Survival is one thing. And sunscreen, detergent, shampoo, stuff like that, that's not survival. That's comfort. And survivalist, you know, hey, survive. Don't worry about all the other shit. Right? I guess while I'm on it, as far as women's bug out bags, man, and of course I'm not a woman, so my knowledge is limited here, but I have a wife and I have a sister. So, you know, I give them tips and, you know, try to do the thinking, a lot of the thinking for them just in case they miss something. But many of the bug out bag videos I see on for women on YouTube are just feminine hygiene. I get it, right? However, if I see a bug out bag that's 50% feminine hygiene for that, you know, time of the month, that's not survival, right? You better have maybe a separate bag. I would say keep like a messenger bag or something like that, something separate. Have a bug out bag for survival and have like maybe a messenger bag or something like that would be for all the feminine hygiene and stuff like that, right? Because I've seen mainly half of these bags are feminine hygiene. Well, you know, what you really need in there is water, right? Waste pure water. Without that, you're dead in 3 days, right? You don't even have time for your cycle to finish. But that's just my 2 cents on that. I know I'm a guy, and I know my knowledge is limited, and, you know, I don't understand these issues, you know, firsthand, but it just, that part I don't get, and I think there's probably a better way to do it. I don't know. Again, this is limited knowledge, but I think probably a messenger bag or something with your bug out bag is the better way to go. Because even though this bug out bag is going to take care of you, you know, that time of the month, well, what if shit hits a fan and it lasts longer than 1 month, right? So survival needs to be top priority. It'd be really bad. I know, you know, yeah, I don't even want to imagine that, but you get what I'm saying. It can't be just, you know. Anyway, I've said enough on that. Hopefully this gets some people thinking, and people look in their bag, look at the videos I did, and compare them to some of the ones you see. Chem lights and stuff like that, one-time use. You don't want that kind of stuff. Canned food is big and heavy. MREs are big, heavy, and expensive, and they're just 1 or 2 meals. Look at the dry mix that I did. You add water and it's cooked in seconds. It makes 3 times its weight, its original volume in prepared food, right? That's the kind of stuff that people really need to think. And you use that sparingly. You try to hunt squirrel and stuff like that with a slingshot and snares and mouse traps, stuff like that, right? Not just 3-day camping. Anyway, again, that's my issue with most of the bug out bags on YouTube. And again, like I say, I said at the very beginning when I started making videos years ago, and I really quit for a long time, but I didn't see the videos I wanted to see on YouTube. So I decided to make them myself. And that's what I'm trying to do. So if you like these, hey, sub me, guys. That's really, before I didn't really care, but now I'm like, okay, people were listening. Maybe I'm helping. And that's good to know. Anyway, think about that, guys. I'm not trying to knock you. I'm just trying to say I'd rather you hear it from me now and think about it than you're out in that scenario, and didn't check into it. I didn't say anything, or you didn't watch the video. You didn't, you found out the hard way. And the hard way, could be your life, man. Anyway, that's it for me. This video's dragged on long enough. Thanks for watching, guys.